Okay, dividing fractions with chocolate bars. Problem 1 divided by 2. 1 divided by 1/2 is the problem. You know that this is a whole number and then this is a fraction. I need to look at this Hershey bar and I have to divide it into halves. So I take a marker or pencil, I divide that into a half. I get 1/2 and then I got 2 halves. So 1 divided by half or 1/2 equals 2. The next one says 2 divided by 1/2. So I take the Hershey bars and I'm making halves. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 halves. So my answer would be 4. So 2 divided by 1/2 is equal to 4. 3 divided by 1/2, I think you figured it all the way. It's going to give me 6 because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 halves. Okay. Then I have this odd one right here. It's 1 divided by 1/3. So I'm going to break this Hershey bar up into 3 equal parts. And I got 1, 2, 3 equal parts. So 1 divided by 1/3 gives me 3. So I need to see this pattern right here. I know that this 1, this is a 2, then I have a 2. I have a 2 here and a 2 here, and then that's a 4. I have a 3 and a 2, that's a 6. Then I have a 1 and a 3, and then that would be a 3. So if I look at it, 1 times 2 gives me 2. Then I get 2 times 2 actually gives me 4. So it looks like the pattern is multiplying this number here times the denominator here, and I get 3 times 2 equals 6. And then this bottom one, I'll see if it still works. This number, the whole number, times 3 gives me 3. So there's a pattern here, and let's see if we can figure this. It says the reciprocal of 4. So the number 4 is written like this, and then it says the reciprocal of 4 is 1 divided by 4, which is the same thing as 1/4. So the reciprocal is actually flipping this numerator denominator, because 4 is the same thing as 4 over 1. 4 divided by 1 is still 4, so I didn't change this number. So the reciprocal of 4 is 1 over 4. The reciprocal of 3 is 1 divided by 3, or you can say 1/3. Dividing by a fraction is the same as multiplying by the, and the word is reciprocal. I go here, I have 2/9 divided by 4/5. But when I divide fractions, I just multiply by the reciprocal of the second fraction. So the reciprocal of 4/5 is 5/4. Now I multiply straight across and I get 10 over 36. And that's not my answer because I need to simplify. Gives me 5 over 18. Number 2 is 2/3 divided by 1/4. So I keep my first fraction. I change my division sign to multiplication sign, and that's only for division. And then I take the reciprocal of 1/4, which is 4 over 1, and I multiply straight across. 2 times 4 is 8, and 3 times 1 is 3. That is an improper fraction because 8 is larger than 3. So I have to do some work here. I have to change it. 3, so bottom out, top in, 8 divided by 3 gives me 2. So that gives me 2/3. 2 and 2/3. I'm going to box in my answers. The rest is homework. But before we go, number 11. Zane had 12 yards of cloth to use to make a quilt. She will cut the cloth into strips that are 3/4 yard long. Then sew the strips together. How many strips of cloth will Zane have? So I need to see what I need to do. This is a division problem, but I need to make sure I write it correctly. She had 12 yards, and she's going to cut that into 3/4. So that's going to be 12 divided by 3/4. But remember, when we divide fractions, we keep the same first fraction, which is 12 over 1. We change the sign to multiplication, and then we take the reciprocal of the second fraction, which 3/4 is now going to be 4/3. 12 times 4 is 48. 1 times 3 is 3. So that's an improper fraction, so I'm needing to change that into a mixed number. I'm going to turn my paper to the side so I can do the work here. And I'm going to put 48 divided by 3. 3 goes into 4 one time. That's a 3. Bring down my 8. That will be a 6 times 3. So my answer is actually 16. So it's going to make 16 strips. Okay? The rest should be done and brought to school tomorrow.